What's up, guys? Welcome back. After my video last week announcing my departure from the Robinhood trading app, I got a ton of questions, and a lot of them were really similar to the point that I really want to address it here in a video. And that was if I put kind of M1 Finance and Webull on the same kind of sketchiness or at least uneasy feeling that I have with Robinhood. So because there was so many questions about it, I definitely thought it was worth doing a video and just explaining to you my thoughts on the other three, because as a lot of you know, I have accounts with all three of those: Robinhood, Webull, and M1 Finance. So in this video, I'm going to review all three, kind of give you the pros and the cons, and tell you why, if you kind of missed it, that I am still going to be staying with Robinhood for one particular reason only. So we'll start with M1 Finance and kind of like where they're at with me and why I like them, maybe even a little bit more. And honestly, I've been recommending them more than Robinhood to beginners on consulting calls and things like that. And I think the major gripe that I had with Robinhood was the fact that you couldn't call somebody, and with M1 Finance, you actually can do that. So I really had to look at reasons why I was going to stay with Robinhood as opposed to Webull. And when we look at all three of these, we're going to see it really depends on what you want to do. So both Robinhood and M1 Finance, they have fractional shares, which is great. So you can take advantage of the drip. That's awesome. They both have no fees on any of their trades, so no commissions. That's awesome as well. They also have something that Robinhood does not have, which I really like, and it's the option to add a beneficiary to your account. Right now, Robinhood, you croak, it might be probably you have to go to probate to get that money back. Where with M1 Finance, you can use a beneficiary. All you have to do is send them a form. If you die, your beneficiary will get your account. The other thing that I really like about M1 Finance as opposed to Robinhood is the ability to open IRAs and trusts. Right now, you cannot open a Roth IRA inside Robinhood, but you can with M1 Finance. So if you were looking to have a brokerage account and also have a Roth IRA in one app, then right now it would be M1 Finance over Robinhood. I'm kind of like, I don't know where I stand with M1 Finance and their like hybrid method of using the pie and robo investing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can kind of set your allocations. Like, I want X percentage of my money to be invested here. I want another percentage to be invested here, etc. And then when you put money in, it does it automatically investing for you. So it makes sure that you stay balanced according to how you set up your quote pie. I got to be honest, in the beginning, I didn't really love this, but it is awesome for somebody like my wife, who is kind of like hands-off, likes to be passive, kind of knows where she should be and knows what kind of percentages things should be, but doesn't want to think about it on a regular basis and think about, is one part of her portfolio overbalanced or uneven or things like that. So I can see really where that might be important to somebody. For me, I like the hobby. I like looking into it. I like analyzing different stocks, where my wife would be like, give me 25% here, 25% here, 25% here, 25% here. And every time I put $100 in, just throw $25 on each one of those. So if that's kind of the approach that you want to take, then once again, M1 Finance is going to be your particular path. One kind of con that I hear about M1 Finance, on top of that pie method that people may not like, is the fact that you have to have a $100 minimum balance to keep that account open. I don't think that's the case with Robinhood. I think you could pretty much have a zero balance, but with M1 Finance, you need to have at least $100 in there. And to be honest, I think the audience that I'm speaking to, if you can't keep $100 in there, you probably shouldn't be investing. There's no option for crypto on M1 Finance, and even the crypto that Robinhood has, you're not exactly buying Bitcoin. If you're going to be looking at the cryptocurrency side of Robinhood, I'm not too educated on the facts, so I don't want to talk too much out of pocket, but you really need to be doing your research on the crypto side of Robinhood if that's going to be going on, because I do know that you're not actually buying Bitcoin, or you're not actually buying those cryptos. So even though we say Robinhood has crypto and M1 Finance doesn't, please, please, please make sure that you know what you're doing and you've done your research on the crypto side and how Robinhood handles that. So now you're saying to yourself, okay, well, that's all those things sound great. You just listed 10 reasons why you want to use M1 Finance as opposed to Robinhood. So what are you still using Robinhood for? Well, the fact of the matter is I'm using it to trade options and do my wheel strategy. There are no options currently, as of the recording of this video, on M1 Finance. And I love how easy it is to make covered calls and cash secure puts inside Robinhood. I've said it once, I'll say it 100 times. I have 5 things going with the wheel right now, and it really is so easy. The ease of Robinhood cannot be disputed, right? Its platform is super clean, super sleek, easy to use, and it's so easy to set up all the options, frankly, covered calls, cash secure puts, I'm doing spreads, iron condors, and everything on there, where inside my main brokerage of Robinhood, I can't do it unless I want to pay $1 per transaction. And the Robinhood interface, their website sucks. So I don't want to pay $1 and then have to make it annoying where I could just hop on my app and I can trade options on Robinhood. So that's really the only thing that I'm doing inside Robinhood right now. I got my 100 shares of the 5 things I'm doing the wheel with. And that's really how it is. And people have asked if I could do a video on just the stocks that I use the wheel with. If you're curious about that video, guys, leave in the comments down below. Maybe if that's something that people are asking for a lot, I can make a video. I also talk about it a lot inside my Discord. I'll leave that link down below if you want to get in there and talk some options and see exactly what stocks I'm using for the wheel. But that is the only thing that I'm using Robinhood for right now. So if I'm talking to somebody and they have no interest in trading options whatsoever, I got to say, I'm probably going to push them towards M1 Finance over Robinhood because they have all the things that Robinhood really wants, but you can call somebody if you need to talk to somebody, and if you want to add a Roth IRA in the future, you could do that as well. And if you want to get a little passive and you want to get a little hands off, that's also an opportunity for you. Okay, so now we can go to the other one and we can look at Webull, and I can kind of compare Webull to the 2 previous that I've spoke about in Robinhood and M1 Finance. Now, I'll tell you this. When I first got on Webull, okay, probably about 1.5 years ago, I was like analysis paralysis. It was a lot, right? If you are a beginner, and I kind of knew what I was doing. If you are a beginner, the first time you hop on Webull, it is going to be overload. It's going to look so intimidating. So for a beginner, it's really not for you. But if you know what you're doing, the things that they give you and the stats and the analytics and the charts inside Webull far exceed Robinhood and M1 Finance. Just like the other 2, they have 0 fees on their commissions, so we don't have to worry about that. And that's kind of the industry standard. Guys, if you're trading somewhere and they're charging you commissions, regardless of whether it's this one or a bigger company, get the hell out of there because you just don't need to do it anymore. So like M1 Finance and unlike Robinhood, Webull allows you to open an IRA account so you can do the brokerage and you can also do IRAs. So if you were looking at those 2 things, once again, you're not going to go Robinhood if you want to open a Roth IRA, but now you have the option of Webull and M1 Finance. A major downside and something that would definitely steer me away from Webull right now is the fact that they do not have dividend reinvesting. So there's no drip, there's no fractional shares, which I'm sure they're going to add in the near future. But until they do so, once again, we can go over to M1 Finance and do all the same things that you can get on top of Webull. And as far as the analytics, if you went on M1 Finance, you just have to open a couple more websites and get there. So I don't like the fact that you can't do fractional shares. When you could do fractional shares, you can really invest with $10, right? You don't have to worry about, getting all these money to buy up one share. You can get inside Berk A inside M1 Finance. Like M1 Finance, they don't have crypto. And like I said, Robinhood, their crypto isn't really crypto, but there is no crypto inside of Webull as well. And just like the other 2, they have the same SIPC insurance that insures not only your securities, but cash that you have that's going to be placed into securities. And I think Webull kind of knows that they're really not geared towards the beginner. So they do have something that really is awesome for beginners, which the other 2 don't have. And they call it paper trading. Essentially, it's fun money, monopoly money. You can go in there and you can practice and make trades and see how it happens. And I think that's good for a beginner, but you still have to get past the analysis paralysis when you first get into their app and their desktop to figure even out that you could do that. So like I said, I understand why. I talk to so many beginners like, did you try their paper trading option? And they're like, I wouldn't even know where to find that. So that's totally understandable. So when I look at Webull and I look at M1 Finance, I have to give it to M1 Finance. So maybe even for the fractional shares alone, it is worth noting as well that Webull is just like Robinhood in the fact that you cannot call somebody and get them on the phone. So between that and also not being able to do fractional shares and the drip and just the overall analysis paralysis, I'm going to go away from Webull. I don't really use them that often. I would go M1 Finance, and that's my real honest opinion. And then, like I said, if you're not trading options, I'm going to stick with M1 Finance. If you want to go options, go to Robinhood. But out of the 3, Webull's probably going to take the backseat. If you need those added additional stats that they give you, and that's why you want to go on it, like I said, there's plenty of other websites and options to choose from that you don't need just inside that brokerage account. Webull is a new kid on the block. They started in like 2016, which is like 4 years ago still, but they have some things to learn, and I think they will adapt and change over time, just like M1 Finance did as Robinhood kind of set the trail and kind of set the standard for a lot of the things that we know today. If this video is helpful, guys, please give it a thumbs up so that the YouTube algorithm knows to send it out to as many people that also want to learn about these 3 trading apps. If you're interested in checking any of them out, there are links for all the sites below. Click those links, see for yourself, try them each out, and remember that you don't have to just have one. You can have, multiple brokerage accounts. I now have like 5. If you have not seen that original video of why I left Robinhood, I'll leave that video up here. And until I see you guys on the next one, stay positive, work really, really hard. Always, please be kind to other people. Hope you have yourself an amazing day and an even better tomorrow.